Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Lord elect, the hopeful elect, and the 1/3. I'm the brother Barak, and I'm going to be doing this lesson on mainly stay away from these false camp teachers, right? But stay away from these many men crept in unawares, right? This is the book of Jude 1 and 4, and it says, "For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men turning the grace of our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, into lasciviousness." And what exactly are these people doing, man? They're going around saying, specifically Genesis, you got Genesis, Sakari, ISUPK, IUIC, completely teaching false doctrine. And these guys, Genesis Israelites, are saying that the heathens are going to make it, basically. And the reason why they're saying this is because they really don't care about the heathens. And if they do, I mean, it doesn't matter because they're going against the scriptures, right? But what they really want is that bag. They want that money. Because they know, if heathens start hearing their videos, seeing their content, they're going to donate to them. You got a lot of these ministries, these channels like Trumpet Sounding Ministry, Truth Unedited. These just random guys saying that the heathens are going to make it. And not only that, these people are set up to preach false doctrine. Because think about it this way. If your account was really preaching the truth, you wouldn't be there forever. You would be banned. And you wouldn't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, right? Esau wouldn't keep your channel up there, right? But, you have these guys saying that the heathens are going to make it, just fucking nonsense, man. They might be married to an Edomite woman. They might have an Edomite mother, family member or something. And they want to basically convince themselves that these heathens are going to be beamed up. They don't even believe in the chariots to begin with, but they believe that basically the heathens are going to make it into the kingdom, right? And all you need to do is just give them this one scripture, because this is the only scripture that, basically, proves everything that they say wrong, right? So this is the book of Romans 9 and 13, and it says, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." And why does the Lord hate Esau? It's because he sold his birthright, for a morsel of meat, right? So, why would the Lord have around people that he hates? Just ask yourself that. Why would he have, the people that have put us into slavery, oppressed us, mocked us, scoffed at us, right? Especially the Southern Kingdom, right? But all of us have to go through, deal with this fucking devil. But the people that have really just treated us with fucking, the utmost disrespect. Why would he have these people, these wicked people, ruling with us in the kingdom? Wicked fucking people. Why would you have good and evil together? You know what I'm saying? And the scriptures speak about that plenty, right? Why the fuck would you have these evil ass people? Why would you even be hanging around them, right? The scriptures say, in Amos 3 and 3, can two or more walk together unless they be agreed? right? So, but these people are on completely different doctrines, man, and they're following a completely different thing. You know, they're, and the thing is, man, you know, we've dealt with these people, you know, so many different times, and these people are really just Jude 1 and 4 material. I mean, they are literally many men crept in unawares, right? You know, and they're really they like the sound of, you know, they just really come into this thing for either money and woman. They don't really care about this truth. They're not really sincere about pushing the word, you know, feeding the sheep of Yahweh Shem Shai. They don't even call on the right names of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? But you know, these guys, Genesis Israelites, they're just fucking full of shit, man. And you can honestly just see it on their face, you know. You know, they're the type of people. I mean, you know, the fact that they literally work with they work with the guy who was getting his ass pegged. You know, they were working with the guy in Guerrilla Hebrew, right? Who was literally a mo, right? He wanted to get pegged, right? A faggot, right? And then they decided basically to, I guess you can say, backstab him, even though all these people are wicked, right? Basically, you know, and then do their own camp, right? But they're just doing this for the money, man. They're not fucking sincere. You know, if you watch these guys and you hop around watching a bunch of camps and stuff, do not fucking listen to these people, man. They're just such fucking morons. You know, complete morons, man. You know, and how do I say this, man? You know, I'm a young brother myself. I haven't been in this thing for a long time, right? But you know, you can just tell right off the bat, these people are just such full of shit, right? The book of Isaiah 30:10, and it says, "Who say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits." So these people, man, they always are switching up, and they're also double-minded, but they're switching up, and they're basically just telling people what they want to hear. You know, and these people, the thing about them is that they believe that we're going to be in this fucking hellhole for another 1,000 years, you know. Man, you know, they truly believe that. They truly believe that, man. You know, they really, truly believe that we're not in the end. They really want to believe that. And you have to be careful because, you know, you listen to them long enough, you start thinking that those spirits, you know, these spirits start trying to convince you, you know, and deceive you. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they want to build up, and they want to just keep making money. They want to just build up their YouTube channels, get famous, get status, get more women, right? You know, but the thing is, man, you know, these people are just full of shit. They're not really here to edify. You know, they're not really here to feed the flock. You know, they're just trying to debate with people, trying to get views, trying to grow their fucking YouTube channel, right? But, you know, all you have to do, man, is just... if their channel is up, man, you know, you see these big channels, you know, with 700,000 subscribers, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and, you know, and their videos aren't getting taken down or anything like that, you know, and I'm not saying for everybody, but, you know, chances are, man, they're not speaking the truth, because, you know, the truth is going to get censored, you know, especially with the famine of the word coming. You know what I'm saying? These guys are just, you know, they're not going to tell you everything. They're not going to tell you everything, like, you know, they're not going to tell you, you know, how do I put it? They're not going to tell you, like, the truth. You know, they're not going to tell you about the destruction. They're not going to even tell you and break down the MOTB properly, right? They're going to tell you smooth things, you know, just like these fucking pastors and churches, right? And you have other camps, and you know, prophesying, saying the mark of the beast is not a chip. These people actually believe that, which the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, and it's going to come in many different forms, but it's the form of a chip, right? An incision, right? Which goes back to that word charagma in the blue letter Bible, right? But these people want to tell people that it's calling on the name, JC, or sleeping with the white woman, and they did, and I've been in groups where people literally, will say shit like this, and I hear it come out of their own mouth, and that's the thing. When you start bringing up Edomites here, heathens start thinking that they can start teaching, right? What happens is they come in and put their own twist on these things and start, like, putting their own teachings. They start putting their own doctrines, right? And I've literally seen it myself, a heathen that I fucking knew. I personally knew this guy, and it really pisses me off. This guy was literally saying that the MOTB he was saying that it was the name JC. He was saying, it was a spiritual mark, which everything's spiritual, yes, but it's a physical mark, okay? And we're just gonna, these people are just full of shit, man, and they would rather lead people astray, right? Just for the sake of winning in an argument, just to get their point across. They don't even sit for a second and reconsider what they're saying, if it's leading people astray and whatnot. These people are literal fucking false prophets. They're false prophets, man. You gotta stay away from these people. You should only be listening to the apostles and elders at GMS, and the ones who teach, the likewise doctrine. You shouldn't be listening to these, these camps trying to get all these members, right? And this is the book of Matthew 15:24. It says, Yahushua says, he answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel, right? So the Lord is not dealing with everybody, man. He's not dealing with all these people, these heathens, okay? It literally says, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. It's not saying I was sent for Esau. I was not. It's not saying I was sent for the heathens. Moab and Ishmael and Elam. It's only dealing with Israel, man. The Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is only dealing with his people, right? But you have these guys. They come in and they try to tell you X, Y, and Z, and but they're just trying to get members, man. And this truth is not about getting members, bringing people in like that. We're trying to look for the sincere people, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We're not trying to get millions of followers, millions of views. We're not here to do that, man. Because at the end of the day, man, everything is gonna get nuked. The Babylon is gonna get nuked, right? Most of these people are gonna die, right? The only thing that's gonna be remaining is what, the men of the Lord, right? And these heathens are gonna go into captivity, and we're gonna rule over them. It's not gonna be, we're buddy, right? We're not gonna be buddy with these people, because these people, they hate us. Okay, they see it on our spirit. They look at us with this disgust and hatred towards us. And you really want to fucking have these people, like, sit right next to you. You really want to eat at the same table with these people, man. So I just wanted to make that quick lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Stay away from these people, man. I'm going to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahushai Ba'ashim, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, hopeful elect, and the 1/3. Shalom.